So welcome everyone to this graduation webinar. Thank you ever so much for coming along tonight and listening to Rachel and I talk about this. My name is Lucy Barnwell. I'm the Director of Marketing for the RNN Group. Rachel McGuinn is also on this call. She is an absolute expert at this. She has been doing this for a number of years. I'm going to hand you over to her for a bit while I start to share my screen and share the presentation. Rachel, over to you.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming. Just a little bit about myself. I'm a freelance event manager, so I help with the RNN graduation and have done now for about the past 6 years. Throughout COVID and all the added things that came with having to do 3 ceremonies in one after COVID. So it has been fun. So we moved the event to the stadium just after COVID, and we've been there ever since. So here's everything that you might need to know about joining us for your graduation this year.
So I actually got to properly work with Rachel this year on it. It was really exciting to do much of the detail. So we had working together, we recognised there was a lot of things and areas and aspects that students need to know and weren't quite sure on, which is why we've put this webinar together and have some foolproof ways to ensure you have the best day of your higher education life. All right. So this is really important that you enjoy it, and we want to make sure you enjoy that. So we hope this is really going to help you do that. All right. So most importantly, drum roll, please, everyone. The date for the graduation is Thursday, the 27th of November. Really exciting. That's all booked in, Rachel, isn't it, at the SC on New York Stadium?
Yep,
yeah,
it is.
Fantastic, which is really exciting. So obviously we do have the caveat: participation in the graduation is dependent on the successful completion of your course. And as you can see, this is a save the date. So we're going to talk more about the importance of this save the date and pushing that out now. Most importantly, we have a space on the UCR website. So if you go into information on the University Centre of Rotherham website, or follow that link, or if you want to now on your screen, use that QR code. That will take you directly to the graduation page. I was thinking of presenting that page quickly to you to have a look at it. So I'm going to see if I can do that. I'm going to stop sharing this and I'm going to share another screen so you can hopefully see the website. Here you go, everyone. So you just need to go into information and click on graduation here. All right. So we have lots of things going on. Rachel, do you want to have just to let everyone know exactly what's going on this page for them to look at?
Yeah, so this will explain to you everything that you need to know, the graduation dates, the times, the locations, everything that you might need to know. There is the video on there, which is really nice to see how the graduation has happened in the past. It gives you an idea of the venue as well, because the venue is quite an unusual venue. It is over 3 floors, so there are quite a lot of steps, which we will go into later in the video, in the presentation. But it does make it easier for you to kind of see what you're going to expect on the day, and it will take you through the highlights of the ceremony from last year. It is the Rotherham United Football Club, so at the end of the ceremony you can actually have your photos taken pitch side. We have a professional photographer that comes in and takes photos for you, but you can invite your family to do that with you as well. It is a lovely stadium. There's plenty of parking on site, and all that information will be given to you. It's available now on the website, but it will also be sent to you over several communications over the next 6 months, and you will then be able to ask any questions if you want to now, or if anything comes up nearer the time. The most important thing is just to make sure that we've got your correct contact details, because we can only send this information out to you if we've got the right details.
That brings me on to probably one of the most important pages of our presentation, Rachel. It is about the details. And can I we're working with Rachel last year. One of the most difficult things we found was actually communicating with students. I think, Rachel, you'll agree, getting people to see the invite, getting people to book on by the deadline. That was the hardest thing. And we did a lot of chasing, sent a lot of emails, a lot of texts out, but we found a lot of the time the details weren't correct. Rachel, you'll probably concur with me there.
Yeah, quite a lot of people had given us email addresses that were either from old companies that they'd worked for, they were old email addresses that no longer valid. Some of them had only used their contact details that you have through college. And obviously, then you weren't accessing those emails. So it's a really good idea to make sure that we have got your correct details, and maybe if you have a preferred email address, to make sure that that's the one that we've got on our system.
Great. So I'm just going to go through some things this year that we've put in place to make sure you receive your invitation. So there's an additional things we're doing. First off, you can go to the UCR reception or any of the college receptions to check that your details are correct. Our reception team are aware that you will have the opportunity, if you want to, in the next few weeks before you finish, to go to reception and just make sure you have the correct mobile phone number and correct email address. So that's the first thing that we're going to be doing. We're going to email you as a test to make sure. So what we are going to be looking at is emailing this webinar out to everybody. So this webinar will give you the chance to have a look at this and just to test that. We're going to ask tutors to contact you to make sure your details are correct. We're going to send save the dates out by email, which you've never done before, as well as on social media platforms. And finally, as I said, go to UCR reception or any of the college receptions to do that. It's really important that you do that. Also, you won't know this, but we're going to extend your college or university email address to the end of August. So this means that you can also, we're going to be sending it both to your personal and your University Centre Rotherham email address, which is really, really crucial and really important to know. So we are trying to cover all bases here, Rachel, I think, to make sure everyone can to get the invitation. We're also going, so the next thing is about what we're going to do next. I'll hand over to Rachel, basically. This is the crucial bit, the invite.
Yep, so we will send out your invitation by email with a link to book. It will be posted to your address on the system, so make sure we've got your contact details correct for posting that out as well. And a link will be texted to you. So we hope that by doing these 3 ways of contact, these 3 points of contact, that you will get that invitation with all the confirmation of how you book during August. It's really important that you book by the deadline, which we're going to go on to later. But the reason that we need to make sure you've got this information correct and at the right time is that we have a very, very strict cut-off time. So if you check, again, like we said, check that we've got all your details correct, and you should get 3 points of contact to tell you how to book on. So the booking is done through an external company. It's our graduation gowning company, and we will send you the link once that is live for you to get onto their website and book all your gowns and photography and everything, tickets for your guests and things like that. But we'll come on to that later.
Great, Rachel. That's fantastic to have that. So the next slide does actually show this, as you mentioned, about why it's important to book. And half the problem we had last year is that we had a lot of people booking after the deadline. And the problem is that we have to ensure that the gowning company can get gowns for every single person who is attending this event. That's important, and they need time to do that. It's really important. We don't want to cause stress for you guys. We don't want to cause stress for us in the team. And we certainly don't want to cause stress for EVES, the company trying to get these gowns together. So that's an important part of it. Rachel, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, it is really important that you book by the deadline. I mean, we had to be very, very strict last year, and it is heartbreaking when somebody really wants to come along, but they've missed the deadline. But we have to be very strict on it because, like Lucy says, the gowning company have a set amount of gowns. They share gowns with other gowning companies throughout the country, and if they've not got your gown in time, you can graduate, but you would be in the wrong colours, and you really don't want that.
Thanks, Rachel. So, what is the booking deadline, everyone? Please remember this date. There is a significant amount of time from when we send this out in early August to early October. That's 2 months, all right? That is also 2 paydays. So remember it like that. That's really important. We do recognise there is a cost to this graduation with the gowns and the photography. So that's 2 paydays worth as well. So, but it also might be thinking when you do get, your pay, and maybe start to think about putting a little bit away. We do find people find this is quite expensive, and we understand that. So do think about putting a little bit of money away for that. Do you know on average, Rachel, how much gown, photography and tickets cost, just approximately, so people can have an understanding of what to consider to pay towards this?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure of the cost of the gowns, but I think it's about £100 if you've got your gown, photography, and the tickets for guests. All the graduates come for free. Guests pay for their tickets.
Brilliant, thank you. So yeah,
But it's
£100.
definitely less than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We want to give you an upper limit so you can think about that. All
Yeah.
right. Because don't forget, I know what you got. What the people booking here, you will obviously, and on tonight, you'll want to get some fabulous outfit for the day as well. So you've got a few months after that then to think about your fabulous outfit and your fabulous shoes. We'll talk about shoes in a minute. And get your makeup done, your hair done for those who want that. That's really important. We know that's all part of the day. So I'm now going to show a graduation video. Rachel's going to stop me if she feels she wants to add anything to it. But this is the important bit, how to book your graduation day place. This is a 2-minute video. It's very sort of a functionally heavy, but it allows you to understand what you're going to have to do. This is on the website too. All right. So here goes, everyone.
I'm not getting any sound again, Lucy.
Still now not, Rachel.
No.
Sorry, guys. I think we have an audio issue. Right.
If at any point anyone has any questions that you would like us to go through, you can just add that into the chat and we will answer those as soon as we can. If we can't get the sound, we could always talk through it.
Yeah, I don't know where I wonder if it's.
And we tested this beforehand and it was
I know.
working.
Can you hear me now, Rachel? Still,
I can.
wonder if it's.
Yeah.
That's why, because I changed the headset. Sorry, guys. We'll get back to this quickly in a moment. Good question.
Do you want to just play it and I can kind of talk it through?
Would you? That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Great idea.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go on.
Yeah, I think we can go from there actually. So when you get your invitation, it will just ask you to pop all your details in there, email address and password. So you'll create yourself a password. It will use your student number, but that will be in your invitation email, but if you have got that, it will give you the information. So there's information about the booking. You need to put your height in so that if you're too short or too tall, that the gowns are the right length on you, and your head circumference is for your cap. It's you can just measure that, and it is just gives you the sizes that you need. So it also says, do you have any gowning requirements? So if you've got a wheelchair, and how many guest tickets you want. We will talk through this, but the first choice, you only get 2 guest tickets, and then you tell us if you want any more guests to come along later. The reason you only get 2 guest tickets is to make sure that we have the right amount of seating, and if everybody doesn't take up their allocation, then we do release more seats later on in the booking opportunity. You will get an email that says that. So this tells you about photography, so you can choose whether you just have a digital photo or printed photography. That will get booked at that point. You can add that right up to the day of the event as well, so you can choose when you turn up whether you want some photos doing. So then again, it's very, very simple. You can go through the payment system, and that is it. It's not particularly complicated, but you can at any point contact us and let us know if you've got a problem, and we can talk you through that.
Thanks, Rachel. That's really helpful. It's really important to know that the biggest thing is that is the link. So on your invitation, you will have a posted information. You'll have a QR code that will link to it. In your email, you'll have a link to it, and in the text, there will be a link to this booking system. So each aspect will take you through direct to the booking page. So you will create an account which allows you to buy your photography up to any point throughout the time as well. So we hope that gives you a bit more sort of flexibility if you want to start the process and then talk to carers, family about what they want. You can see your tickets, you do get your 2, but you can request more, and we'll explain about that in a minute. So that's it. Sorry. So this is the key questions we get asked by every single person. I think if Rachel and I had £1 for every time we were asked these questions, we would be probably having more holidays than we could. So these are the questions we really want you to take away with you tonight. So first of all, how many tickets do I get for family members? 2 tickets minimum. But Rachel, do you want to talk about how the process works for additional tickets?
Yes, so obviously you can imagine that we do have a maximum amount of people that can attend graduation. Depending on when you book, as to how many people book on, as to whether it's 1 ceremony or 2, and that is where we then need to make a decision based on how many tickets, how many seats there are. So to start with, you will get 2 tickets. If you want more tickets, you can request those. You need to have requested those at the time of booking. We cannot guarantee that there will be extra tickets available after you've done the original booking. So yes, you get 2 tickets with your original booking, and then tell us whether you need any more tickets.
Thank you. And that is really, really important. Just so you know, for us, the ceremony itself, you guys are hugely important to us. We want this to be a fabulous day. Last year, we made a decision to go for 1 ceremony because of the number of tickets or graduands that were booked on the day. We will explain graduands and graduates as well at some point. And we want the ceremony to be a vibrant, exciting, really positive experience. So the ceremony, we don't want a small number of people with a small number of family members in each room. It doesn't create the atmosphere that we want you to have on your day. This is a very special day for you. So it's really important that and this is why the booking by a certain time, we're not just looking at gowns, we're looking at how many people can we fit into the room. Will the ceremony be really exciting and vibrant? How do we make it the best day for you as possible? So for us, we are juggling numbers the whole time, whether we do 1 or 2 ceremonies, and to make it the best day for you. And this is why get your booking in and get your bookings, your numbers of tickets that you want, so we can really work this out best for you. All right. So the second question is this: can I purchase more tickets? And of course, we do have the booking by 3rd of October, and you can obviously request. I think it's up to 2 more additional tickets, Rachel, if that's correct.
I think it's unlimited on the request, but then it will depend on how many extra seats we have. So again, you will then, depending on the numbers, we may say everybody gets 2 more. If everybody doesn't take that allocation up, anybody that wants any extra ones can get more tickets. The difficulty we have with this, and it's always an issue, and I'm really sorry about this, is that sometimes that allowing those extra tickets may get nearer and nearer the date of the event, which means that if people need to take time off work, getting the booking, it's awkward because we cannot make the decision until we know exactly how many seats everybody's requested. And if we go out with extra tickets, we have to give the people time to book those extra tickets. It's very, very unlikely that you won't be able to bring your extra people. Let's put it that way, but I can't promise that you will be able to bring all of the guests that you requested.
Thanks, Rachel. That's really helpful. It's really good to manage expectations. That again, this is all about you guys and your graduation, and we want you to enjoy it as best as possible. So this is probably one of the questions we do get asked the most coming up. Can I bring my child to the ceremony? Rachel, I'm going to hand over to you for this one.
Yeah. Children are welcome to the ceremony, yes, definitely. The thing is that we do ask that any children under 5 do not come into the ceremony room. It's very long, it's very boring, and it's difficult for children to be entertained. So what we have is we have 2 rooms. We have our social lounge upstairs where families with under 5s can watch it on the big screens. They can see the actual ceremony happening. We do have a little bit of entertainment. We have colouring and things for the children upstairs. They just will need to be with a family member, obviously. If you have very, very young children and you need to be with them for any kind of feeding or whatever, just let us know in advance, and then we can manage that on the day, so it's not come as a surprise to us that somebody may need to nip out to feed a child or something like that. There isn't an age limit to the children coming. You can bring babies, you can bring all ages. It's just that any under 5, we just suggest that they don't come into the ceremony because it is boring. And that's the only reason we do it, because it's not fair on everybody else if there are children that are getting agitated about being sat, because it is quite a long time. An hour and a half is a long time. There's not much happening for them to keep them entertained. So yes, children can come. Under 5s would need to stay with a family member in the social lounge. Over 5s can come and watch the whole ceremony. If over 5s want to stay in the social lounge where it's a little less boring, then they're quite welcome to do that. But they will see you beforehand. You can have family photos taken, and they will see you after, where you can enjoy the celebration.
Thanks, Rachel. That's brilliant. And then the last question. Someone actually asked us this year, my mum has limited mobility. What is the venue like? Rachel, over to you.
So yes, like we said, the venue is quite weird. It is over 3 floors. And there are a lot of stairs. So when you go into we do have a video which we will share with you nearer the time, which gives you the walkthrough of the whole event. You come in on the ground floor, you go right up to the 2nd floor to the welcome ceremony. That's where you can get refreshments, and your family can wait for you while you get gowned. Once you're gowned, then you go back down to the floor 1 for the actual ceremony. That means that anybody with limited mobility will need to use the lift, and the lift is quite small. So again, if anybody in your party has mobility issues, just let us know beforehand, and we've got plenty of ushers on hand who can make sure that they are guided to the lift in good time for them to get to the floor that they need to get to.
Brilliant.
Another thing that it says there, consider your footwear, because there are a lot of stairs. And if you have limited mobility, we will manage you getting up and down in the lift as well. But everybody else will be going up and down the stairs to the ceremony and to the social lounge.
Thanks, Rachel. And then on the day, some things to consider. So it's going to be exciting for you. This is a huge boat, and you will be nervous. Everyone is nervous about worrying about tripping up somewhere, or they're going to say or do the wrong thing, or whatever that may be. But don't worry about that. Forget all of those things. You know, this is your day. You've worked really, really hard for it. So just focus on the fact that you are you're having your day after all the work that you've done. So 4 things to consider. 1, footwear. Rachel has just mentioned this. I know you're probably, for some of you, want to wear 4-inch heels. Go for it. But it is a long day. You have a lot of walking around. So as someone who's reaching her sort of more older years, I now have flats with me everywhere I go. And then I stick on my heels for the main event. Just a suggestion. That might be something you want to help, because you could put your flats under your chair when you go into the graduation, and then if you want to graduate with your heels, if you want to walk out again at the end of it with your flats or your heels, you've got your flats there to change into. It's something I do all the time now. Just a suggestion. Have a good meal beforehand. There is no cafe on site, and it is a long morning, afternoon, or long day, depending on whether you have 1 or 2 ceremonies. We do obviously provide drinks and canapes after. That's really important to know. We have that as part of your tickets. But yeah, I would suggest making sure you have a good breakfast, however nervous you feel, or bringing a Scooby snack with you to eat before you go on. All right, Rachel, do you want to add anything there at all?
No, that's fine. Yeah, make sure you've eaten.
Get to the venue in good time to be gowned and ready. That's really important. Last year, actually, we had everyone turn up on time, actually, even before. Everyone was very, very ready. So we're going to look at our timings this year to make sure it's not too long. People are waiting around, because it can be quite long, Rachel, can't it?
Yeah, one of the things I would suggest in that, the timings that we give you are the time that the doors open and the ceremony times. It is entirely up to you. I'm a bit of a, I'm definitely a last minuter. I think, Lucy, you're very organised. You would be there at 9 and I would be there at 10 to 12, and I've got to be ready for 12. We're all different. It's one of those things. If you know that you're always running late, try and get there a little bit earlier, because queuing to get gowned can take a little bit longer than you expect it to, but we don't expect you to be there the minute that the doors open. So it's entirely up to you to make that judgment call. We'll give you the time of the doors opening, and we'll give you the time of when you have to be ready for the ceremony. And then it's up to you to make your call as to where you come in for the event.
And then most importantly, enjoy it. Really enjoy it. I know you'll be thinking, once you've done that walk across the platform and received your certificate, you'll be relieved that you've done that bit without tripping. As I know the CEO likes to allude to in his speech every year. But you know, really try and enjoy every single moment up to that and after, because they will go by in a flash. So it's really important to do that.
If I can
So
just add to
please
that
do.
about the actual day, it is a ceremony. There is a lot of pomp. There is a lot of doing things by the book, but it is fun. It's meant to be your day, and please encourage your guests to whoop and cheer and holler and whatever as you go on stage. And try not to think of it. It feels very, very as if it could be a little bit stiff, but we want to make it fun for you all.
Oh, I'm glad to that, Rachel, because we don't get enough whooping and cheering people go off
No,
and stuff.
not enough. No.
More of that. Everyone thinks it's too formal because we have the procession of academics and the procession of governors, And that's just part of a, I suppose, I think it's nice for parents and carers and family members to see that little bit of formality. But yeah, we want some whooping and cheering too, people. So remember that. All right. Thank you, Rachel. So yeah, it's just an hour and a half long. There'll be guest speakers. We get some really cool, famous person to speak. We have student speakers. A certificate presentation. We have some students who sing and do some musical presentations too. So it's a really nice occasion. And then after that, you go off and have your drinks and your canapes. No doubt, I'm glad it's all over and desperately needing to have that lots of fizz and something to eat. But again, remember, Friday the 3rd of October is the booking deadline. So then the last thing is, because Rachel and I have been saying graduates, and graduands. Rachel, what's the difference?
Right. So you all will be invited and you will be a graduand. And when you arrive at the ceremony, you will be a graduand. Once you've walked across the stage, you have graduated, you become a graduate. And that is the difference. So it is just one of those really simple things, but you will be known as a graduand. You have been invited to graduate. Once you've graduated, you are a graduate.
Fabulous. Very simple, really, although it does kind of get confusing, doesn't it? And that is it. That is all the question. Does anyone have
We
any
have a
questions?
few
Please go
questions,
down.
so I think we've answered some of them. So the details from the slides will be emailed after the meeting. So you will get a copy of the slides, and you will also get the presentation itself as an email, so you can watch that back at any time, and you can watch it with family and other guests that may want to come along. Can children attend? Obviously, we've gone through that. So yes, we've got children attending and the information about any children coming. Contacting about family members having limited mobility. So when you fill in your application form, there will be a section that says, do you have limited mobility? Does your guest have limited mobility? So that we will know at that point. And then, like I say, when you get there, if you just let one of our ushers know, they will be able to walk through that with them. When will we know what time it will be? Like we say, we cannot make that decision until after the 3rd of October because we don't know whether we're having one ceremony or two ceremonies. If it's really, really important to you to know whether it will be morning or afternoon, if you just drop us an email, and then we can we can give you an idea that if it's two ceremonies, which of the two you're most likely to be in. But again, we cannot guarantee that that will be the exact time.
Can I just jump in there, Rachel,
Yeah.
actually, just quickly? So it's really important that everyone, if you do have any questions, I would advise people to email us, all right? The reason is that if you email us at the HE graduation at rnngroup.ac.uk account, that's HE graduation at rnngroup.ac.uk, we can then pick it up. So Rachel has that access to that inbox, I have access to that inbox, and the UCR reception team have access to that inbox, and we will pick it up. So it's really important that you email us because I'm a big believer in a paper trail. If you email us, we can deal with it straight away. Sometimes if people ring and leave messages, I will admit they do. And last year, we had some telephone messages that went awry. So I would suggest please email us, either Rachel, I, or Robin or Helena will pick those emails up and deal with it. So if you have members of family that have limited mobility, email us and we will deal with it and come back to you. All right. And then we know we've actually come back to the queries you have. Thanks, Rachel.
Yeah. So the booking will give you the opportunity to book for people with limited mobility, but it's really important that you email us as well. So is there an alcohol-free option? Yes, there is. We have the fruit juice option for the celebration. Right, so somebody missed the beginning of it, so don't worry about it. This will be emailed to you. You can rewatch it at any time and as many times as you want to. And you use that email address if you want to contact us about more tickets, but the ticket booking will be on the booking that you get through the gowning company. So you will be given that information. As you book your tickets, you can say how many guests you would like. So you will get your two, you can book any extras. And then if you want to drop us an email to say that you've booked that and we can keep an eye on it. I manage the email as well as, like Lucy said herself, and the reception team. So we do tend to find that by the end of the whole process that we know a lot of you by name. So if we've had contact, and don't worry about a messaging at any time. Sometimes because I am freelance, I kind of sometimes answer at 9, 10 o'clock at night, but don't expect it every day.
And I was looking after student speakers who were really nervous the next day, and they were emailing me till 10 o'clock the night before. So this is what we're here to do. We're here to help, all right? So just email us. This is my biggest plea to you. Remember the booking deadline, Friday the 3rd of October. Please, please, please email us, because there's a paper trail that you know you've emailed us, and then we will get back to you to make sure that you have the day that you need, that you deserve, all right?
Yeah.
Um,
So we've just had another question about family. We cannot guarantee more than 2 tickets. That is, I know it's unfortunate if you have got family members that want to come. Like I said earlier, I don't think we've ever not been able to accommodate everybody that wanted to come. It's just that we cannot guarantee at the time of booking more than 2 tickets. So put the 2 tickets in that you want, and any extra tickets if you put them in the request, and we will do our utmost to make sure that you get those tickets. It's highly unlikely that you won't get them, but we cannot guarantee that.
Thank you, Rachel. I think that's all the questions. As we wrap this up, Rachel, are there any final things you want to say to anyone listening that are really, really important that people should know and remember?
Again, it really is. It's not as scary and as daunting as you think it's going to be. The whole thing, the process of booking isn't scary and daunting. The event itself isn't scary and daunting. It is just one of those situations where if you engage with us, if you bring any queries or questions to us in good time, we'll do whatever we can to make it feel like a much more laid back and relaxed event than what it actually sounds.
I've just answered Chad's question regarding the tickets count for you and one person. I said no, graduates are free, that only family members take up the ticket allowance. Just remind me, Rachel, do family who are staying in the social room need a ticket?
They do need a ticket, but the under 5s don't need the ticket. It's just we need a ticket so that we know how many people are going to be seated, but also because people who are staying in the social lounge will still get refreshments and canapes afterwards. So they do need a ticket.
It's a catering requirement, so we need to have over 5s for catering requirements is really, really important. You know, for under 5s is a little bit less of a problem. I can't imagine a 5-year-old or under would love a canapé that we produce. However, you know, it's really important that we have the numbers of over 5s for catering purposes as well. The cost of the ticket has
it's not been said yet.
Yeah. Do you remember, Rachel, what the cost of the ticket was?
It was 12 last year.
£12. We will be talking to Ebus about that in terms of what it does. It partially covers the cost of the event itself. So it only partially, just so you know. In fact, the tickets does not cover the cost. The RNN group puts on a lot of, obviously, because this is a really important day for our higher level education graduates. So it's just really goes towards the refreshments in most part towards that. Gown I've got is about £100. So yeah, Rachel mentioned earlier that the total cost of everything will be about £100 approximately. All right.
Yeah.
So that's
if you go for photography and guest tickets as well. There are cheaper options, but we need to wait until we've gone through our gowning company to get the exact numbers.
So the final thing then for me is to say, enjoy the day. That's the most important thing. Do not worry about it. We are here. Rachel and I and the team are here to help you and make it as smooth as possible. We can literally make everything work as smooth as possible as long as we have those bookings in by Friday the 3rd of October. That was what caused us some problems last year, the lack of the booking after, which is what we're trying to do, everything to make sure we get those bookings in and we can create the best day for you and all the hard work that you've put in, because we know how important that is to you. All right. And we're all really proud of you here at the Iron Group, you know, and the University Centre Rotherham for what you've achieved, and you should know that.
Absolutely.
Which is why it's really important that you get the day you want. Booking windows are usually open mid-August, so you've got about 2 months to book. All right. So everything, all the texts, the emails will go out, the posts, we're going to send out invites in the post with a QR code direct to the link. That will go out early August, all right? And you'll get that, giving yourself 2 months, as I said, 2 paydays, save up for it, all right?
But
And then
now
another
you've got the date so that you can get that in your diary and you can get any time off booked now. I think the other thing that I just want to add is that when you are engaging with us, if you have any questions or any queries, don't panic, don't worry about it. I know last year we had quite a few people that were getting into a bit of a state and sending us emails and really worrying about the whole situation. We're human beings at the other end of that email. We will try and make sure that if you've got a request, that we can try and make that happen for you. The sooner we have those requests, the more likely we are to make it happen. So like Lucy says, get your booking in, make sure you're all booked in, make sure your guests are all booked in, and then we'll start that conversation with you about when the extra tickets open and get you through that booking system then.
Okay, everyone. Well, it's 3 minutes to go. I think what we'll do is wrap this up. Huge thanks to everybody for tuning in. You've been absolutely brilliant. Great questions, by the way. Thank you so much. Enjoy the half term coming up, and we'll see you all in November. Enjoy.
Brilliant.
Thanks so much. Have a great evening. Thank you, Rachel. Take care,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.